So we already made a video talking about how almost poetic the Stanley Cup win is for the Florida Panthers, but I want to give the Oilers their due as well, because to say they put on a show would just be a complete understatement. There's no doubt this stings right now for the players and for the fans. You battle back from 3-0 down, you're on the verge of completing one of the greatest finals comebacks ever. Especially with those days off between games, the anticipation just kept building and building, and so did the hope for Oilers fans. I mean, even when they were down 3-0, it was remarkable how many Oilers fans were still completely behind their team and had total faith that they were going to go out and do something that hadn't been done since 1942. And then as the wins started to snowball, so did the momentum in Edmonton's favor. By the time Game 6 was over, the hope and belief had crescendoed to like a fever pitch. So for it to all come crashing down by the thinnest of margins, eerily similar to how they lost in Game 7 in 2006, albeit by an even thinner margin this time, you can definitely understand why a lot of Oiler fans are pretty heartbroken this morning. But I mentioned this in the last video, I hope there's also a lot of pride in oil country right now as well. Not just of the team and of the players, but of the city. Look, no matter how hard Boston Pizza tried, all of Canada was never going to cheer for the Oilers. They definitely got a ton of buy-in across the country, but it was never going to be a unanimous, yeah, the Oilers are Team Canada, let's go cheer for Canada's team. But I'll tell you what, the last Canadian team standing put up quite a fight and was a hell of a lot of fun to watch. And if I'm saying that as a neutral observer, imagine how Edmontonians and Oiler fans across the country felt about this team during this run. They were completely invested and they showed out to support their team at every turn in a way that I gotta tip my cap and show some massive respect towards. Like, next to overtime, that's definitely one of the most heartbreaking ways you can lose a Stanley Cup in Game 7. And the amount of fans I've seen come out to show their appreciation, support, and pride for a team that's not even 24 hours out from a gut-wrenching Stanley Cup loss, it's honestly heartwarming. And it's true, those guys poured their hearts out, they battled right till the very end, and they did an awesome job representing the Edmonton Oilers. And how about McDavid winning that Conn Smythe? He didn't come out to accept it, but his dad was in the crowd. That was funny when they showed him, woo, as he's pulling his phone out. And I know I've seen some people talking about how he went pointless in Game 7, and I get it, but at the same time, come on, like, this guy just had one of the most historic playoffs ever. Crosby also went pointless in his first ever Stanley Cup final Game 7. It's just that nobody talks about that because his team won that game. And man, how about Corey Perry? I mean, losing another one here. I've said it before, I'll say it again, he's got to be thanking his lucky stars that he won one in 07 with the Ducks. 4 different teams, 4 Stanley Cup final losses, 5 years. That's truly nuts. And I'm already seeing it on TSN SportsCenter here, the whispers of Draisaitl's future, as he's eligible to sign an extension on July 1st, and there's always going to get traded, things like that. I don't want to give that too much play because in my opinion, especially after the playoff run they just went on here, I really think he's going to stay. I'd be shocked if he left, but I guess you never know. We'll cross that bridge when we get there if it seems like a more realistic possibility, but for now, I don't think it's worth paying too much attention to. And look, it's a game of balances. There were a bunch of almost for the Oilers in this one. From their side of things, it's not really worth hyper-focusing on that, rather just trying to focus on the positives of this season and this playoff run especially, and how incredibly fun it was with so many great moments. Like I said, I know it hurts, and it's going to hurt for a long time, just like how I'm sure 2006 still hurts for a lot of people over there. But when all is said and done, this was a great season to be an Edmonton Oilers fan. Please give me your thoughts in the comments. What's next for this team here? And let me know what off-season Oilers content you'd like to see. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you're new. You're awesome.